videos. Sending you back.
Watching people walk away.
Well, it's the only time I can tell a lady what to do. And not get in trouble, right?
I could challenge that, but we won't go there.
Yeah, true. Alright, let's see, I got my orange light. Oh my. So how many of you brought your pen and paper today? How many of you are ready for some great golden nuggets? Alright, so on this note, Angie, if I can have you just go all the way to the back for me. Thanks, Angie.
You gotta say with a little more emphasis there, Eric.
Well, you know, I was next to her, I didn't want to yell at it. You know. So, you know, Angie, funny story, and yesterday Elias and I went to Citrus Sites, where we had a one-on-one in Modesto, and in Stockton, then Lodi, and then Citrus Sites. So in Stockton, we met with this lady called Kimball Sue and Barbara Zavella. I always pronounce that last name wrong. And believe it or not, Angie was referred to us by our friend Barbara in Modesto. She's like, hey Angie, look, there's this great lunch event going on in San Bruno. You have got to go. These are some great people. You're going to grow your business. So all the way from Modesto, her friend referred Angie to this chapter. Now I think Angie's been to San Jose, Morgan Hill. She's already volunteered to go to Modesto.
I saw that online yesterday.
You know, and Fairfield, I think she even signed up that she's going to be in Fairfield next week. Oh wait, that's right. She also is a golf coach, so it made sense that she would be that way. Just teasing. So Angie is a golf coach. She's also got a few other things going on. I like golf coach because every time I just keep trying to learn how to do it, but I hear it takes a lot of your stress away too. Something about hitting a ball or something. Anyways, so Angie's going to talk to us today about coaching, a passion to share. And I just have to say, she was afraid to talk. She didn't know what she was going to talk about last week. I kind of put her on the spot. So, my good friend Aunt Candy kind of helped push her into it. I appreciate you. So on that note, why don't we all give her a nice round of applause for Angie Papangellin!
How's everyone doing today?
Good!
Hey, you know what? I just want to take a moment to thank everybody for being here today. You're helping grow the chapter, and I know what it takes to take some time out of our day to get here. Alright, so thank you for doing that, from all of us to each of us. My topic today is coaching. I like to call it a passion to share, because when I'm coaching, what I'm doing is I'm sharing. I'm sharing what I know, who I know, with other people. Alright? I could sit there and take a lot of time to show someone exactly how to put their hands on a golf club and how to stand and to get their balance and all that kind of thing, and I do that. But I want them to fall in love with the game too. I want them to grow a passion for it. And I want to give you, if it's okay with you, a little bit of my background so that you understand where I have come from on this journey and where I've come to. I started my coaching career when I was 14 months old, and you can laugh about that, but I'm the eldest of 4. And my mom and dad had 4 kids in 3 years. They got gifted a set of twins.
Wow.
Well, my sister and I are the 2 oldest. I'm older by 14 months. So when she came along, guess what my job was? To set an example. Anybody ever hear that before?
Oh yeah.
Set a good example for your brother and sisters. Yeah. So I truly believe that's where my coaching instincts have come from. All right. So although I say it kind of tongue-in-cheek, it's not. What I had to learn at that point was how to get agreement from everybody. When you're coaching a group of people, and Angie brought this up last week, is how do we get other people on board with what what we're working on and where we can see them going, or the group going, and changing other people's belief systems. And coaching is often about that, all right? When I'm working one-on-one with a student, transforming their personal belief systems about themselves and what they're capable of doing with their golf game, it's hard to move them from where they've evaluated themselves to be. And yet, when I start talking to people about what they dream of, what are your personal goals within the game of golf, I start to understand what I need to do to help them get there. See, I do a lot of clinics, and I will sit people down, and the first thing that I do is ask them, what do I need to provide for you to make this 4 hours or 6 hours or whatever it is worth your while? To have you say when you're done, I'm glad I did that. And I get all kinds of responses. The number one response that I get, and I can show you all the sheets that I've ever taken those notes on, consistency. It's a golfer's dream. But how do you define that? How do you define that? See, the problem that we start with from that premise of becoming more consistent is that they already are. They just don't like where they are. Okay? They consistently miss 3-foot putts. They don't like that. They want to be consistent. But what do they mean? They want to make all their 3-foot putts. Well, you know what? I have techniques to teach people how to do that. As I bring them closer to their dreams, guess what happens? I'm coaching them to become the golfer they want to be, and all of a sudden they're telling their friends about it. So you want to increase business, you want to increase referrals, word of mouth, which is very important. It comes from knowing how to coach people, and it's not just a mechanical thing. Alright? Because we have to breach that topic of you are going to have to change your viewpoint of who you are and what you do to become who you want to be. Now, how's this different from anything else you've ever heard? It's probably not. I get to still use the same information and commitment to a program or a person that you're going to find in any other business. So when I have my high school golf team, which doggone it only happens about 2.5 months out of the year, maybe 3 if we get in the postseason. We start in the middle of August, and the season goes until the end of October, and if we're fortunate, we end up long-term moving into November. Now, to get from here to there, we have to do some things as a group of people. And I want to share one of those things that I do with people. Start it there and work it from there. And what we do, and I learned this technique many years ago from a gentleman named Blair Singer, and he's got a whole program on this. It's about committing to a code of honor. Alright? And so that's what you have in your hands right there. Now this code of honor, my team came up with. Alright? I didn't write it for them, because then I'm asking them to buy into my beliefs. What I did was I had them go in twos and come up with something. Alright, a statement, like, as teammates, we will cheer each other on. I can't disagree with that. I think it's an important aspect of it. To be rooting for one another, not against one another. And in golf, that sometimes gets difficult because they're actually playing against each other for ranking or position throughout the season. But nobody begrudges the other person for playing better than they did this week. They know they just need to go back and retool something in their game or address a mental thing. They might have gotten a little too carried away with themselves, or gotten a little overconfident and it blew up on them, or they weren't confident enough. But they're still going to root each other on. Alright? As teammates, we'll show up for practice and matches. Alright? Think about this. You've got a team of people right here in our room. We are a team, the GNA team. We show up for one another, do we not?
Yep.
Alright, what we're asking each and every one of you to do, and myself included, is to increase the size of the group. Alright, Eric's on this, Elias is on this, Ann and I spoke with them a little bit last week, and I know that you guys are on board with this. All right. So as we grow this group, are we not working and showing up for practices and matches?
Yeah.
We're here on Tuesdays. We're here. You see how these rules can help get people on board with what you want. As teammates, we will bring enthusiasm to all we do. My golf team has probably got the best attitude I've ever seen. All right, and it's consistent. Even in the years where the wins were few and far between. All right, I coached one season where we had no wins. We thought we were going to win our very last match. We tied. Okay, that's no wins, but it isn't a loss. All right, it was a step forward, and from there we springboarded the next season, and we had an undefeated season. How do you do that? How do you do that? We had the kids buy into, let's keep working on our game and going and playing in tournaments outside of high school, so that they became more adept. They became, how should I put it, like hardened by the fire of being in a tournament. Instead of collapsing, they were able to stand up to the heat of competition. All right? But they all did that enthusiastically. They got together and they carpooled and all the things that I couldn't necessarily do for them. I can't work with them during the off season and call practices and stuff. It's high school sports. I need for them to be students first. All right? And then anything they do on their own that I will encourage, as long as it doesn't take them away from their top grades, will be fantastic. I have the good fortune of coaching kids that have been student athletes. In other words, they get their name up there on the big banner in the gym at school saying, yes, she was a top athlete, but she was also one of our top students in her graduating class. I have a player who is now a freshman at Stanford, and her freshman year, when she walked into the gym, this was actually before school started, she saw a banner up there that said Student Athlete Banner. Guess what her primary goal was in school? To have her name on that banner, and there it sits proudly. She graduated and she achieved it. But on top of that, she also got to play in the Women's US Open and the Women's Amateur, and developed such a high level of competition with her golf game that she's now at Stanford on full ride.
Wow.
All right. Now, if anyone's got time this coming weekend and they want to go see some good collegiate golf, Stanford's women's team is hosting a tournament. You will see Stanford, but you'll see probably, I'm going to say 10 to 12 other schools, if not more. I don't know how many they've actually got come. But, you know, that's how you can encourage from, you know, one student having a dream to a whole team just lifting up totally to match that and help that person get to her goals. The next one was, as teammates, we will respect each other, our opponents, the coaches, and the game. See, we don't have referees in golf. In golf, you have to call your own penalties. And one of the toughest things for the kids to do is learn to call a penalty on somebody else, especially a teammate. But we talk about how important that is. Okay? And you said, you think there's a wolf, so they get away with it. Yes. The problem is that the rest of the field is now affected by somebody getting away with something and abusing a rule or not following it properly and then turning in a score that isn't accurate. I don't want inaccurate scorecards turned in. I want them accurate because I want the kids to see their progress. So we talk about it every week. I post their scores. We come up with their scoring averages, and that's how we determine who's going to play what position the following week. And they'll change. And that's okay. And they know what they need to do to get there. The rest of the list, as you can see, it's things that they do for one another. It's also what they do for themselves so that they can be there. All right? If you're not feeling like you're a part of the group, you may as well just, you know, go out there and say, oh, golf's an individual sport. Who needs a team? You know, I can always qualify by myself for postseason events and stuff like that. I gotta tell you, the kids that do qualify after the season without the rest of the team, all I ever see them saying, I wish I had my team here. I really wish I had my team here. So you know, as a coach, I hear or see something like that, it fuels me more to help lift the level of the team. We could go down this list item by item, but you guys can read it. These are yours to keep, so feel free. I learned this technique, like I said, from Blair Singer, and the man is brilliant. And it's something that he came to through working with Robert Kiyosaki, Mark Ender, and a few other very top-level motivational speakers and trainers. All right, so I've incorporated things of that nature into my coaching at a high school level. Now let's say I take it into a business. All right, Sal knows. All right, he and I both use the same business. It's called Send Out Cards. I use the business to be able to stay connected with my students, to send congratulatory cards to them, like congratulations on your hole-in-one, congratulations on your tournament win, nice job on getting that scholarship to Stanford. I had fun creating that one. I also put together cards for my team. As they're graduating, I go back through my picture files and look up their photos from when they were freshmen. And embarrassed as shit. I said that.
I'll have to probably edit that.
Yeah.
Nobody will mind though, really, because everybody, you hear that word on TV now after 10 o'clock anyways, right? So.
So anyway.
No censorship at the GNA.
Oh, there we go. When I send those cards though, I gotta tell you, I mean, I get thank you notes back from them, and they said, but did you have to put my freshman photo on the front cover? Because my whole family got to see it, you know, and because when they put it up, there it is. But they're fun to create, a lot of fun to send. For those of you that are looking for a way to acknowledge your customers, clients, or family, talk to Sal, talk to myself, we'll be happy to tell you. The reason I brought it up wasn't so much about the business, but it's about team building. See, this is a business that actually encourages you to build a team. And by having a large team of people working together, you get closer to your goals and your personal dreams. Now, some other dreams that I have are not golf related. All right? And so I have to find other ways to achieve those too. That works out pretty well, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I want to get back to the coaching stuff. All right, and the reason I want to do that has to do more with just what is it that motivates me. Okay. I don't know, Milky, name something that would get you motivated right in this moment.
Motivated to what?
Oh, you know, to like get up and go out in the parking lot and bring somebody in here.
Oh, bring somebody in here.
Yeah, from the parking lot.
From the no?
Yeah. What could we do?
I need time to think.
He needs time.
I need time.
I know I picked on you and you had no idea. Anybody else come up with a thought around that though when I answered the question, David? Recognition.
Oh, okay.
There you go. All right. David would appreciate recognition for doing such a thing. Who would I be if I didn't provide that for him? Would I be a good coach or would I be lacking? Would he want to jump on board with my team, or would he say, oh, you know what, she didn't appreciate the darn thing, why am I going to do it again? Okay? So I need to make sure that I'm recognizing people on a regular basis. Appreciation. Being grateful for who's on your team. See, have I had kids on the team that I'm like, where'd you come from? There have been times, but you know what, I gotta tell you, by the end of the season, I'm in love with them. Because I look for something inside of them. I look for what's going to move them closer to becoming a big part of the team. And trust me, kids are no different than adults. We all want to belong. We all want to be a part of what it is that's going on. So how do I move people from, you know, being kind of like, yeah, I'm really good, don't worry about it, I'll take care of myself, to, hey, you know what? I really love my teammates, and I want to do my best for them. Yes, Elias.
You could do what Eric and I do and just put them on the spot.
Put them on the spot. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, we like to build a code of honor every year.
Oh.
Okay? Because that way they start working as pairs. They get to know each other. I haven't worked with someone they don't know that well. They get to know one another. And then they bring their ideas and we put them all together. And all of a sudden everybody's all a buzz about it. You know, they're talking about how are we going to make this happen? You know, who are you willing to call out? And who are you know, I had, like I said, I had a very high level student athlete, and then I had some other kids that wanted to be at that, but had not put in the hours and the time and so forth. But they didn't want to hold her back. They wanted to move their game forward, and so we gave them room to do that. And when they showed me that kind of heart and bringing that commitment, another key word in coaching and team building is gaining the commitment needed from everybody in the group to be successful. When that happens, it changes everything. Because then it's almost on autopilot, I gotta tell you. People think coaching is tough work. You know, I'm gonna stand here and tell you, the toughest thing I have to do is get to know these kids or know the people on a work team and find something that they can all become committed to towards the success of whatever the project is. I'm trying to think. Earlier today, I was telling Sal a little bit about my background in terms of where did I learn coaching. Well, I played for a lot of good coaches. I played for a lot of great coaches. Unfortunate in that respect. And I had a few that, you know what, even though they weren't great coaches, I still learned from them. Even though they weren't good coaches, I still learned something from them. Mostly at that point you learned that, ooh, that didn't quite work. All right. Think about a manager or a boss that you have had. That you may not have necessarily come to blows with them. I used to practice what I call tantric yoga. Or tantrum yoga, excuse me. God, I mixed that up. Okay, it's called tantrum yoga. I would sit in my little corner after they came up with something that I had decided was totally inane and time-consuming with no purpose. Okay, and sit in my office and stew about it. Okay, how long would it have taken me to do it? I don't know, a lot less time than it took me to sit there and have my little tantrum. All right. But I also began to realize, all right, what was it that caused that response? How did I get triggered to not want to do this? Because if I know how I get triggered to not want to do something, guess where I go with that information? I'm not going to present an idea in that way. You know, and if a boss came up to you and said, Ann, I need that report by 6 o'clock tonight, and I know you had a party you were headed out to and you needed to go get dressed, but I can't wait. How are you going to feel about that? Oh, yeah, I'd probably be dead meat. But what if I walked in and said, oh, God, we just closed on a new client, and you helped do that, and is there any chance I can recruit you to help me get the presentation done by 6 tonight? That's a little different presentation, isn't it? It's bringing you on board. It's recognizing your contribution to what's happened and the opportunity that we as a team have. All right. How many of you work with teams of people? Anybody here? Elias does for sure. We got a lot of teams. And Eric. Yeah, Rod. So yeah, look, I'm watching all these hands go up. It's important to know how to get other people moving and bring them on board and keep them on track. All right. If I bring a golf team together in August and we don't get any agreement on anything as far as where we're going as a team, and we have no commitment by anybody, so they're never at practice, or they're there every once in a while, and everything else becomes more important, like shopping for a prom dress and going to a 49ers game on Sunday when we have a team bonding event. Where does a team stand? Where do we go from there? It's going to fall apart eventually, and then it's going to be a season where we're kind of like, yeah, well, that was a nice season. That's over with. We'll try again next year. No, you can't allow that. It's the experience from last year that's going to springboard them into next year. It's the successes that each student or athlete had last year that keeps them going. Now let's take this to a professional level. Okay, we've got to cut. What's that? Do you have a question?
Oh, just in five more minutes.
We got 5 more minutes?
Yeah.
Okay.
How much more do you have to go over?
Well, I can wait on this and do that another time, but yeah, this example one.
Okay.
But yeah, it's about 5 to 8 minutes.
Go ahead. Yeah, no, it's good.
All right.
Yeah.
So the purpose of bringing this up, okay, San Francisco Giants had a great season in 2010. Anybody here agree with that?
Oh yeah.
Okay, and I'm not even a Giants fan. Yeah, but who his? But the thing that impressed me was how those guys all came together. All right, despite everything else that was going on, they were a team. They were a team of individuals that brought the best out in one another. All right, they had a belief in themselves. Where'd that come from? I mean, you bring in a guy like Aubrey Huff. All right, where'd he come from? Was he like a superstar, outstanding player before he got to San Francisco? Not so much. He was a good workman. All right, he had a very credible record. But what he did during that season, red thong aside, all right, was pretty amazing. And I don't think the phone had a doggone thing to do with it. All right, I think it was the bonding that occurred and the trust and belief that they each had in one another. And these are guys that they knew of each other, but may not have known each other before the season started. All right, I face that every year. A professional team doesn't have to face that, except nowadays with free agencies and so forth. You know what? They do. But there are a lot of coaches out there that aren't quite sure how to manage that. And so you'll see some teams, season after season, starting over again because they're trying to buy themselves a better team, better players. They've never taken the time to create that cohesiveness, put everybody on the same page. I think, like right now, we're witnessing or experiencing something like that with the 49ers. Okay? Jim Harbaugh got everybody on the same page. And look what's happening with the Warriors right now, to bring it to local areas. They've got these guys who are all playing with and for one another. They're going out there and winning games that most people would say they have no right to. So you have to take a look at how are you going to put your team together. Alright? And don't be so willing to fire everybody all the time. You just haven't found that person's go button. Alright? So with all that being said, and there's a lot more to say, so I may come back and do this a little bit more and again.
Oh yeah.
Appreciate the opportunity. Thank you all very, very much for being here today, for sharing this with me. And I want to take just the last few minutes to see if there are any questions.
Angie, yes. Question is, can you write down your phone number over there?
You really want that?
She has business cards.
Guess what?
Oh,
Here they go. I was waiting for that. People wanting more, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, if I didn't put everything up here, we wouldn't have even started the dialogue, would we? All right. Yes.
I'd just like to make a comment because this real life story, I know of one person who is supposed to be prominent, but you know he plays golf and he cheats in the golf course, and it's just sort of it came to a conclusion that the way he runs his life and his business is like the way he plays golf because he was also caught cheating in business. So I think that there's test of character right there.
Golf is an interesting game. If you want to use it to learn more about, I used it initially to learn more about my dates.
Nice.
There's a lot you can learn about a person out on the golf course. Okay. As someone looking at it from a business perspective, I'm also out there looking to see the same things you're talking about. What is their personal integrity? All right. What makes them think that they can get away with these things? All right. Real life example. Right now. All right. But I bet you I know how he can fix it if he chose to address it. The minute he stops lying to himself, he's not going to need to look for another golf swing. See, it's not about lying to his wife. It's not about lying to his kids. It's not about what he hid from the rest of us. Like, we really care. How did it affect our life, you know? But the problem is that he knows that he lied to himself. And he didn't do what he said he was about. How do you go to your foundation and tell these kids you got to live with integrity? You didn't. Seriously, look at that. And until he can redefine that in his mind, he's going to hit you know, several really good shots during a tournament, but he's still far from allowing himself to have 4 really good rounds of golf.
Yep.
All right. Take a look at, and I don't mean to bring it head to head, except it just happened this weekend. I'll be right with you, Sal. Is that when Phil Mickelson went out there on Sunday, he was playing with Tiger. He knew he was going to have a measuring stick to hit against, okay, to be able to evaluate his game during the day. But Tiger never rose to that level. Why is that? And he'll tell you, well, he just wasn't putting well. Well, I got to tell you something. In order to putt well, you got to have a clean mind. You can't be worried about how people are looking at you, who's judging you, how you're judging yourself. In order to putt well, you can't have any distractions.
Right. Yep.
And he has his own internal distractions. I was going to say, let me take Sal first.
Quick question.
Yeah.
So, how do you come about coaching somebody? Is it like a class that we can register in, or you do one-on-one, or you do both?
I do both.
Okay.
Or let's say you had a group of friends that wanted to come and work on their game. You can come together for a semi-private lesson as well. All right, so I have no preferences, truthfully, one way or the other. I teach kids from like 5 years old. I don't like to do anything below that. I like them to develop their natural interest and the desire to have fun around the game. Okay? And if I'm working with them and say, oh no, you gotta put your hands this way. Well, I see parents doing this all the time. All right, they're constantly on the kid about you're doing this wrong, you're doing that wrong. Where are they gonna learn to like the game? What little piece of room did they leave the kid to learn to like the game? Okay, so did I fully answer your question? Or?
Do you have like a website that you go into?
I actually have a fan page on Facebook. It's Golf Coach Deep Cliff. Okay. I have a blog as well. So this right now. This is my Facebook page. But my blog is www.angie-coach.blogspot.com. Alright? And it's actually something that I just initiated last week. This was kind of the instigator for it. But I'm having some fun with this because it's a new habit. And I know that in order to build a habit, I have to do 21 days. Alright? Now, people think, oh, 21 days. Out of 30, I can get 21 days out of 30. Alright? It doesn't work like that. If at day 17 I don't do it, guess what? I start over again at day 1. And that's a whole other training that I do. But I'm using it for me to learn to blog. And guess what? I forgot day 4. So I got to write about it. Okay? Which is a great learning experience for me and anyone who might be reading it. So my mentality used to be, oh God, now I have to start over again. Oh no, that's 4 days down. No, it's not. You know what I realized? It's 4 days I would be doing even afterwards. So I can still do 21 days in a row. Because I'm going to be doing this for a long time. Why give up on myself? I do have to say that one time I did catch myself in bed, 10 o'clock at night, on a rainy night, having not done something that I needed to do for my swing, and I got my butt up out of bed, put on my rain suit, went out in my backyard and did my 60 swings, because I couldn't afford to take and start over again.
Wow.
I was heading down to Southern California at the end of the month, and I didn't have another 21 days. So there I was in the rain, hitting balls into my net in my backyard.
Wow.
Yeah, thank God it was somewhere near a light, right? Thank God I didn't melt, which proved to me that I'm not the Wicked Witch of the West.
That's nice.
Okay?
Yeah.
So there you go. There you have it. It's worth it. It's well worth doing to create those new habits. Like I said, I have a whole other training around that. So there's a lot going on. And I bring a lot to the table. So if you're indeed interested in learning more about golf and becoming a golfer, give me a call. Email me. Text.
Facebook.
Facebook. Lots of Facebook. Lots of remember,
this information onto the GNA Mastermind group page, please?
Sure.
Yeah.
As soon as I
It'll be
figure
easier
out
for
how to
everybody to
do
see it and remember it in
Yeah.
one shot, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyway, yeah. Thank you all very much. Unless there are any other questions, thank you.
Give Angie a big round of applause.
Yeah.